Hey guys, I thought I would give an update on how I'm doing. And I'm really making this for other people out there who hang on to these videos like crazy, like I know I do, especially when I'm really not doing well. And when, I see their last video and maybe they weren't doing well and then there's no further videos, it can be kind of jarring, I suppose. We want to see people do well. We want to see people get through this. So my last video was about the massive setback that for the last 30 days I have been going through. However, it's not so massive anymore. I am definitely healing from it. It has not at all been pretty. I had about 16 days. Ooh. I'm just leaving that on there. I had about 16 days of pretty severe akathisia. I've had it worse, but this was severe and it was not fun. First time I got it, I had it for 8 months straight. So I'm really grateful that it is subsiding. So I had about 16 days worth of that, and then it's been about 13 days, I don't know, my math might be off, but somewhere around there, of crazy windows and waves, lasting about 3 days each. But the nice thing has been that each window was brighter and each wave was less severe. So it's been, I've been able to definitely see my healing, and I started a video log for myself that I saw suggested by other people going through this, and it's been really helpful because I can look back at those videos and I can say, wow, I'm much better than I was, even a week ago or 2 weeks ago or however long. And today really has been a good day. It's been a pretty amazing day. Didn't wake up with any of that crazy heart pounding adrenaline rush stuff. Took a nap. Can laugh, can feel joy and happiness, and hopefully I'm popping out of this, but who knows, I might go into another wave. I really, in this last 30 days, been able to practice so much more acceptance than I thought possible. More than I've been able to, practice in this entire journey, which for me will be 2 years at the end of April. So my injury was 2 years ago. I don't know if I said this before. And there was and I was first put on Ativan and trying to get off that after the injury, not knowing what was going on and not understanding why I couldn't get off of a medication I'd never taken before. So that was a bunch of up and down tapers, but once I got on Valium, I'd realized before even I got off the Ativan that it was going to be a long taper journey for me. But once I got on the Valium, things steadied out for me. I also had to get on gabapentin. I know a lot of people, and I'm not advocating for that whatsoever, because that's just going to be another drug I have to taper, and I've heard it can be pretty close to benzo withdrawal, which stinks, especially since mine is taking so long. But it is what it is. I was, when I made that choice, I was so severe that really was the only choice for me. And I'm a pretty tough cookie, so, you know, trying to use my words right so I don't trigger anyone. But, and I mean, I have I have 2 beautiful children. I have a wonderful family. I have a lot to live for, and have never in my life been in a place where I didn't want to go on. Never. And I've been through a lot too. A lot. And that's when I made the choice to take the gabapentin. I was also having seizures every time I even slightly tried to go down on the Ativan. So that was another reason. My case is extreme. It is. Most people's don't get that bad that I've seen. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the things I've been doing to help me get through this. One is distraction, which I don't know if it's unfortunate, but for me it becomes a lot of watching benzo YouTube videos, which is why I started making these, because they help me when I'm struggling. And, you know, jumping on the forums and reading success stories and other people's stories. I guess, you know, where you wouldn't wish this on anyone. It's nice to know you're not alone. And it's also nice to know that there are so many people out there who are strong enough to get through this. You know, it reminds us that we can. One YouTube channel I like particularly is Jennifer. The name of her channel is Jennifer Swan, PhD. She has some excellent, or she gives you some excellent information on, you know, different authors that, how do I put this? For example, one of the authors, sorry guys, my brain. One of the authors, in particular that was helpful for me was Claire Weeks. And she was actually born in 1902 and wrote her first book in the 1960s. And so this is well before these, medications existed, but not like the ones we're put on now, you know. And she talks about a sensitized central nervous system, which is what we have. And Claire Weeks does. And she talks about the different methods we can use to desensitize it. And it's quite incredible. I got her audio on my Apple tablet, and I mean, this is so long ago that she's describing, you know, a person's symptoms, and I mean, they sound so much like mine, you know, and acute or close to acute. And just some really good tips there. For me, it was really helpful. It's a lot about acceptance and living with the yuckiness. But the other really cool thing in regards to Claire Weeks is that when she talks about it, she talks about curing it. She doesn't talk about it like it's something that a human being has to live with forever. She talks about curing it. And it was just helpful information for me. And again, I got that from Jennifer Swan, PhD, on YouTube. And then since I'm now polydrugged, which is unfortunate. That's something I never wanted to be. Before the injury, I was just on an SSRI. And, but life happens how it happens, There is another channel called Psychiatric Sobriety. And it's a gentleman who, after 25 years of being polydrugged, was able to get off of all of his medications and is now thriving. And there's a lot of resources he's put out as well. He has Zoom meetings on Sundays and Wednesdays that people at any stage can, in their recovery, can participate in. He has a website. I think it's psychiatricshaman.com. And, there's some good stuff there. But for me, one of the more powerful things has been practicing what I learned from listening to the Claire Weeks audiobook. I'll be getting more of her actual books to read. And I'm getting through this. It's not fun. I've paused my taper. I'm at 13 milligrams. And I started, it's kind of a long story. I got so bad for a second. I was on 60 milligrams, but I was only on 60 milligrams for like a month and got down to 30 of Valium. And so kind of feel like my taper started at 30 milligrams. And I'm holding till I feel like I can. I think one of the mistakes I was making, because I am doing a water titration, but I'm not doing the daily reduction. I've looked into both, and I kind of have deemed that probably not the best way to go for me with how my symptoms are, because with the daily reduction, it can sneak up on you and you don't know exactly what dose you were at that it snuck up on you at, whereas with the larger reductions, every 2 weeks to a month, I was doing every month and only able to go down about 1 milligram. I started out at like 5 at a time, and then it was like 2.5, and then, it just happened to slow. But I had paused. I hadn't gone down 3 months. Well, 2 months prior to this setback, because I was waiting for an opportunity to be able to go down a large chunk, where what I wished I really would have just done is, if I didn't feel like I could have gone down that much, at least just gone down a little, or a little less. So I've been at the same dose for 3 months now. And, it is what it is. This journey's different for all of us. But yeah, I mean, today was a really positive day. It was a great day. I'm still not fully up to where I was. I mean, I was able to pick my daughter up from school and, do some grocery shopping here and there. My husband helps me with a lot of the shopping, but, able to clean, not the whole house, but not the deep cleaning, but you know what I mean? The dishes and make dinner and all that prior to this setback. And I'm definitely not back to doing those things yet. I mean, even, playing a game of Uno with my daughter at this point is a really big deal compared to the last 30 days. I was pretty I couldn't do much. Gosh, I've got benzo brain. But I mean, just those small improvements and, realizing that I had started to take those things for granted in this taper, being able to play a game with my daughter, being able to hold a conversation without absolute sheer torture and panic always in the background. And, and you come back from these setbacks and it's like, wow, I have a lot to be grateful for, just smiling and feeling the smile, watching a movie and being able to just sit and watch it without 1,000 racing thoughts going through your head, So, if you're in a setback, you're going to come out of it. You're going to be okay. Don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. That was one of the things I was able to manage through this, was not to lose hope or faith. Now, don't get me wrong, I had my moments where after a window, waking up into another wave, I was let down. I was upset, but I didn't one time lose hope or faith that I would come out of it. Not even in akathisia, when I could barely, I mean, anybody that's experienced it knows. I don't have to describe it. And, don't lose hope. Don't lose faith in this process. It's an easy thing to do because it's so long and we never know what's around the corner. But one of the things that I did also find during this was for the last prior to this setback, I'd kind of stayed away from the groups and benzo buddies and those type of things because I felt like it was kind of a trigger. But in whatever mind state I go into when I have acute symptoms, I dive into it. And what I found, and I obsessively go into it, like read everything. And what I found from reading hundreds of stories is that we all recover from this. We do. Is it the hardest thing that most human beings will ever have to experience? Yes. But we will heal. My body is showing me evidence of that just through this setback. Our bodies want to reach homeostasis. Our minds want to be at peace and be quiet and be calm and have those things. And, you know, we're all going to get there. Different times. My gosh. My taper is going to be long. I know it's already been long, you know. And I'm just talking about the benzo. You know, my goal is to be off of everything, which is benzo, gabapentin, and an SSRI. And the SSRI I took for 15 years. So, you know, I've got a journey ahead of me still. But, you know, all our timing is different, but we all get better. Another thing that I've found helpful for those of you that are tapering, and for those of you that weren't given the chance, I'm so sorry. You know, for those of you that were cold turkeyed or didn't know and ended up cold turkeyed or kindled, or, you know, I'm sorry that you didn't have the chance to taper. Regardless, you'll still get better. So many stories I've read. Tapering, not tapering, we all get better. But one of the things I've found and I'm grateful for, because I used to just hate taking my medication and setting up my medication for the week. And I mean, it was really triggering negative feelings for me every time I had to do it. And I've I've turned that around into a place of gratitude where it's like, thank you that I, you know, universe, whatever your higher power is, thank you that I've been given the opportunity to taper. You know, where I may not be my, you know, 100% for a while, I'll take 50%. You know, I'll take 50%. I've already, you know, spent 8 months of this journey in, I was probably at 10% those 8 months, 15%. So, you know, getting the opportunity to taper is a blessing. And what's some of the other things I found helpful? Reading. That was one of the few things I can do. If you can read, I do it at the end of the night. It's part of my night hygiene, going to bed thing. And something fiction, something I read a lot about, you know, different techniques and ways I can help myself, but that I do during the day. At night, I saved something that was just something that wouldn't trigger me, something that was interesting enough that it would stop my thoughts, just for that little bit of relief that I could get at the end of the night. Like a treat for myself, kind of. And that was helpful for me. I couldn't watch TV for a while, just barely within the last week or so. I've been able to calmly watch TV. And so, yeah, coping was a lot of just staying distracted and on my phone. A lot of benzo YouTube videos, a lot of the forums. I also could occasionally get on TikTok. I know a lot of people may not think that that's a healthy platform, and it's not all the time. I've figured out the algorithm pretty well, though, that nothing comes across my page that is triggering. It's like basically all funny videos or cute animal videos, or like one of the things that was really helpful were like slime making TikToks, because I don't know, my brain could zone out on it for even a split second. A lot of like crafting TikToks, or you could find crafting things on YouTube too. I don't know why my brain could, depending upon how severe my symptoms were, I would still have maybe either really uncomfortable anxiety or depression, or some, intrusive thoughts. But even if, something takes that away for a split second, those were the kind of videos or TikToks that were helpful for me, which I find very random that I like watching people make slime. Not into slime. I'm not, but it worked, So, yeah, this has already been a really long video. I wanted to just put this out there and make sure that I sent some positivity out there for you guys, and mostly just want to put an emphasis on the fact that we all heal. We're all going to get through this. And just like you've heard so many of the survivors say, it's going to be, even coming back from this setback, it feels, the small things I took for granted are so much sweeter now. I have so much gratitude around everything. I can not hear myself, but it's like 500 times today I'm thanking God, And for me, that's been a very integral part of this process. I'm not saying it has to be for anyone, but for me, my faith in God has been enormous in giving me the strength to get through this. And like I said, I'm not saying it has to be. I've talked to plenty of people who have recovered from this, who either don't have beliefs, or atheist, or have very different beliefs from mine, or it just whatever. If you do have a higher power, I do suggest leaning into that as much as you can. Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Love and prayers to everyone going through this. And yeah, that's it. You guys have a good night.